Hi everyone, it's Renee. I hope you are having a very blessed day today. Today I will be showing you how to put together these little ephemera clusters with chains. I posted these on some Facebook pages and getting a lot of comments and wondering how I did it and the easiest way to do this. So I will show you today how to put one of these together. Here are just a few examples of what I have. And then people were asking me what I use these for as well. And let me see if I can find. Okay, so here is one of the signatures for my corset pages. And I thought I put one in here. Okay, so here is a big tuck spot. And what I ended up doing was putting one of these clusters on a tuck spot. So I might put them as embellishments on pages, or maybe embellishments on pockets or something like that, because people were asking me, what do you use these for? Well, you could really use them for anything, but I mostly use them for decoration. And since I have a chain on the top of the cover of my corset journal, I decided I wanted to use chains throughout the journal as well. So that's what I will be using them for. So here are a few more examples. You can put these together pretty much any way you want, but I'll show you a quick way so they're sturdy and they're easy to glue in wherever you want to put them in or sew them in or what have you. So these are just a few examples, and it's a really great way to get rid of a lot of scraps that you have on your desk. All my little fabric pieces, all my little ribbons and lace and little ephemera pieces. This is a great way to consolidate them and make something beautiful out of all your little pieces. So let's begin. Let me sit down. I'll show you what we'll be doing today. So essentially I have some of these pictures. Let's see, you can see it. Some of these pictures of just, old-fashioned women. And so all I did was print these out, and then I'm gonna take one and we'll work on one. So I like this one. And so all I did was kind of just tear it out. In any shape you want. I like these flowers on it, so I'm gonna try to keep those. That's aside. I like having some of that showing, so here's your piece. And then you're gonna, of course, ink it up because we're junk journalers and we ink everything. And it kind of makes it stand out too. I like the ink. I like this darker ink. This is the brushed corduroy, but I also have a few other ones. I've got the vintage photo and the tea dye and a few other ones, and different colored ones as well. But I really like this one. I've been working with this one a lot lately because I just like the darker ink. It stands out. Okay, so then what you're gonna wanna do, I have this bunch of scraps and lace and things that I have collected. And if any of you watched my video on my recent finds at the thrift store, I went again yesterday and found a bunch more. I found about 10 or 15 other really cool fabrics. But this was a piece of a skirt underneath, the underlaying of a skirt. And so I've been using this, and I love this stuff, the way it tears. It tears into, you can just tear it, just pull it, and it'll tear perfectly with all these little frays and stuff that I just love. So this is what I use as my kind of my base piece. Let's see, right here, if you can see, little base piece right there. Okay, so let's see, I already had a piece torn from another project, so I will just use this one. So I'm gonna set her on that to see if she'll fit with a little ephemera piece. Yes, she does. You could do it this way or this way. And then I had this lace left over. I have a whole shirt that I tore up of lace. this gorgeous lace, which this color matches perfectly with my journal that I'm doing. And that's another reason why I bought that shirt for 50 cents. And then I tore it all up for all the lace. And I've been using this lace throughout. So I'm gonna lay that piece on. And then of course, cheesecloth. And I had this piece. And if you don't like the white of the cheesecloth, all I do is just kind of, you know, oh, there's a little string there. Just kind of, you know, dab it with the ink. You could either dye it, coffee dye it, dab it. I find dabbing it super easy. Anything easy is the way I do it. So, and I really love the way this kind of gives that little airy feel to the piece. So I'm gonna stick that like it's sticking out. And then of course I need some lace. And this was another piece of a shirt that I cut up. It had a whole bunch of lace and fabric, this kind of fabric on it, which I've been using as well. And the lace, I could use that lace. I have this white lace too. I like adding different colors, like having some white with the cream and tan. Let's see how that'll look. With some flowers, or do I like that one? I don't know, I don't know. I'm gonna just add a little bit of this. So you just cut it up. So just find what kind of scraps you have throughout the house. What kind of extra lace or ribbon, or I use some sari silk. Let's see, I use sari silk on a couple of these. Let's see. This was a darker material, a velvet material I used on this one. Here's some sari silk I used. So you can use like little scraps of whatever you have. Let's see. Let's cut this little trim part off. Oh, I like that laying down a little bit more. Okay. Okay, so then the next thing you want to do, so you have your base. Here's your base. And actually I want this pink showing a little bit more. So let's do this with that kind of hanging down. Okay, so you have your base here. And then what I do is I go to my sewing machine and just sew a little bit of this. I'll show you in just a sec. I'll go and sew. So give me a second. I'm gonna go to my sewing machine real fast. Y'all bear with me. It's out of camera range, so. Okay, so really quick, let me show you what I did here. So I just sewed where all of these meet. You can see I just did a zigzag stitch. You're not even really going to see it, but if you do it, I think it's kind of cool because it just adds another little texture to it. But this way, when I do glue all these down, I'm for sure knowing that this is all going to stay. So here's like my base piece right here. So I know that it'll all stay and hold together, okay? So, got my base piece. I'm gonna have my lady right there. And now I need to figure out what I wanna put, what I wanna attach the chain to. Now, for this lady, I put the chain, I attached it to her. This lady, I attached it to another ephemera piece, a little flower right here. And then this one, attached it to like a little flower with postcard, postage stamp. So it just depends what you want to do. You could attach it to the background if you'd like, whatever. I'm gonna have her, let's see what I have here. So I have my ephemera book that I threw together in like a day. If any of you, I mean, there's been videos out on these, on how to put these together. These are super easy to put together. They just take a lot of time for the sewing part. because I have this part that flips out, and then these little folders in here to put some pieces or printables that I print out, and then, you know, some Tim Holtz die cuts or whatever, you know, ephemera pieces I have in these clear folders throughout. So I could put tags in here, and, you know, as you can see, just like a bunch of mishmash of whatever I've got, and little tags and stickers and what have you. So I put this together. I love it. It's super easy. It's a soft cover. I just did it all with paper. Super easy to do. You can look on YouTube on how to put these ephemera books together. I think 49 Dragonflies has one. A couple other people have. Yeah, there's a few people who have these. I watched a couple of them. But I liked the clear pages, and what I did, I liked these pastel papers because it kind of gave it some color, but also kept a neutral background so I can kind of see what kind of ephemera pieces I have. So I liked doing that. And it could use up these kind of papers that I normally wouldn't use in scrapbooking or my junk journals anyway, so I put them to good use. So anyway, so here is my folder of little, oh, I see one right away, little die cut pieces. And I'm looking at this one right away because it's got that bright pink. Let's see if it's got kind of like the same kind of colors as she has in her flowers here. So I'm going to use this one. Okay, so let's pull that there. Get back into frame. Can y'all see me? Yes, okay. Okay, so then you're going to ink up your ephemera piece or whatever piece. You can do, you could also, let's see, these little tags that I showed how to make. Let's see. These little tags that we made a while back with the crackle effect on them, the crackle effect mini tags. You could even hang these and put one of these with a chain if you'd like. But that's another idea. Make little tags. You could have her hanging with a chain with the tag hanging off it at the bottom if you'd like to do that as well. I mean, there's so many different things you can do, and I know you'll all get creative and post some things, and I'll be like, man, I wish I thought of that. So this is just to get you started and to get your creative juices flowing so you can make your own. Okay, so here are your two pieces. Okay, the next thing you're going to want to do is put the little holes in, make sure I get the right one, put the little holes in where you'd like your eyelets to go. Let's see, how am I gonna, is that gonna sit like that? Yeah. And you wanna make sure the holes are kind of towards the bottom, but not too close to the bottom so it doesn't rip through, but close to the bottom so you can put your eyelets in and get the jump ring and the chain in it easily. Let me find my eyelets. Okay. Let's see here. What do we got? Let's do, since I'm doing the whole pinkish theme, I've got these little pink eyelets. These are really tiny ones. Yep, there's a couple. So really tiny eyelets. And they're super easy to put in with the crocodile. And just like that, they're done. So you just set it in the hole. Make sure you line everything up. Squeeze, and there you have it. So there's your two pieces. Okay, and then the next thing, where are my... Okay, you want to get your jump rings. Now y'all are going to laugh as I'm doing this, I'm sure, because this is the only tool I have to do this with. I need to go get myself some tools, a couple more pliers and stuff. I have a jewelry making set somewhere in the house, and I think it's in a closet that is kind of buried right now, and I'm sure it's in there. So one of these days I will dig and find my jewelry making set somewhere But until then, I'm just being lazy and using what I have. So I also got this off of Amazon. This is like antique gold color. It's not gold, but it's like the antique brushed, whatever, brass maybe, color chain. It comes in this big old set. I love this. I've got silver, gold, this one. I might get an actual bright brass or a rose gold one eventually. But these are awesome. They're so much fun to use, and you can do so many things with these. So this was on Amazon that I got. I don't remember the price, maybe, you know, $7, something like that, not much. So what you want to do next is with your chain, if you have a chain, or if you have old necklaces. I have some old necklaces in my closet that I am probably going to cannibalize soon because I don't wear them, so I might as well use them for something else. But you want to figure out how long you want your chain to be approximately. So I figure about that long. So at that point, I'm going to try to pull this chain apart. Oh, there we go. That one I really demolished, so I'm just gonna toss that. Okay, and then you're gonna take your jump rings and open them up and insert them into each eyelet and close up your jump rings and make sure that they are sealed good so nothing comes out. These chains don't fall out. I like to kind of overlap them and make sure they're not gonna go anywhere. And then you do the same with the other one. So much easier. It would be so much easier if I had two of these. Or the right tools to do this with. But again, you use what you have and you improvise, and that's the whole part of junk journaling, is using what you got, which I love. And I'm so excited. I can't wait to see what y'all create, because I know y'all are just so creative and you will come up with some great ideas. And as I'm sleeping in the middle of the night, I'll come up with, I'll be like, ooh, that would be a cool idea, or ooh, that would be neat looking, or what have you. Okay, so there we go so far. See, as easy as that. Okay. And then let's see. I think this still needs something right behind this. So I'm wondering, I'm wondering if I want to do like a little, let's see what that'll look like. Just something. Or maybe even a little piece of, gotta sharpen my scissors as well. They're getting so old. Let's see here. If we put a little, not sure yet. I think that's a little too much. Okay, we're gonna have to glue you in like that. Yeah, I think let me do a little bit of glue here just to kind of hold this down the way I want it. There we go. Maybe I want it like right on the lace. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just it'll seal when I put a lot more glue on, but this is just to kind of hold it into place for me. Okay. Okay. So then you're gonna get your, whatever, your harder, heavier core glue, I guess you would say, more than a glue stick. And then you would figure out exactly where you want your image to be. And glue it down, and then you're gonna do the same with your other little piece. How do I want it like that. Okay, and that is what it looks like so far. Now this is still kind of flimsy because it's just material. So the final last step that I usually do is, let me find where is, oh, here's some paper. Okay, you want to get some heavier cardstock. So all these papers, or all these ones that I have done, have a heavier cardstock on the back that I've torn and inked up. And then that gives it the sturdiness. It also makes it easy for you to glue down in your journal on a piece of paper, and it just gives it a little bit more heft, a little bit, you know, a little sturdiness there. So all of these I did different backgrounds on, but they're all paper, like a hard cardstock. It doesn't have to be like super thick cardstock, but just the thicker cardstock versus just like a regular piece of paper, just to give it a little bit of the sturdiness that you need. So you see I have all different kind of cardstocks in the back of these. Plus it gives it like another dimension to your look. So this one, see now you can see the difference. If you put it behind a darker piece of paper, here's the effect you're gonna get. Let me see if I can show you where it is. Let's see here. Now here's a lighter piece of paper. So here's what it looks like with a darker piece of paper behind it. And this is the effect you would get with a lighter piece of paper behind it. It gives it like a softer look. So depending on what you're looking for, that's the kind of paper you want to put behind it. I'm going for this, I guess, darker look a little bit. So I'm going to use the darker paper, but you can use, if you fool around with different papers behind it, you can see the little shift on what it'll look like. So what I do is just kind of put the page around so I know about how big I need to tear, because I want some of it to show. And then you can kind of tweak it and play with it as you go. So I know it has to be at least around that big. And then I can kind of get some of this white off, fool, and you know, make it different shapes, odd shapes, instead of just like a circle or a square. You can make it go in and come out. Kind of looks like a little heart there a little bit. And then you figure out kind of what you want showing. Okay, I like that, but I don't like this part way high like that. So I'm going to tear some of that off, and I don't know if I like all of that. So I'm going to tear some of that off. Let's see. I like that. So that's how I'm going to lay her on this piece of paper. So before I do that, I'm going to ink it up. Again, because it'll make it pop and it'll stand out with this really dark ink. And again, it gives it another dimension that I like. I mean, you can see the regular paper and then the inked paper. You know how different that looks. Okay. Sorry about the light, y'all. It's early morning here, and the light is starting to shine right through the window, and it's kind of giving us a weird kind of glare. I got the lights on in my room, but it's still. Here's the natural light. You can see it in the natural light. Okay, so that is what it's going to look like. So now I'm going to get my glue and glue this down. I'm running out of some of this glue, so I need to get some more. I should have had it upside down while we were waiting. There we go. Okay. And then let's see, how did I have this on? Make sure you don't glue the chain down. And then you're gonna just push down on it. Make sure it is all stuck, except for the chain. You don't want the chain stuck. And voila, there you have it. Super easy to do, but super effective, really cool looking. Let me show you. There's one that I did that I didn't even hook the chain. I just had it hanging. Let's see if we can. Oh, here, this one. This one, I didn't even want to hook the chain to her. I just had the chain hanging down from this butterfly, kind of like I don't know, you know, the flight of the butterfly or whatever, but I just had the chains hanging down. You can do chains hanging down from here. You could do chain around the whole thing. Let me show you another thing. Another thing I did was I had the butterfly kind of hanging off the page with the chain hanging from the butterfly there, but I also sewed around the lady on this one, and a couple of them. I did a couple sewing and a couple not sewing. So that's another dimension you can add to your little clusters. If you want to sew, you can sew around the whole cluster if you want. You can sew around the pictures. You can make these 3D if you want. As you can see, I sewed this butterfly to this piece of fabric to make sure that it stayed on. So, you know, I like to do a little bit of sewing and gluing all at the same time, but that's just another idea. So, let's see, is this the one we did today? Yes, it is. So here is your finished piece. I hope you all enjoy it. I would love to see what you all come up with, but this is just a way to add some other media, I guess, into your junk journaling. Chains are one of my favorites. I love adding chains to things. It just gives it another dimension. But anyways, I hope you all enjoyed that and have fun creating, and I will see you all next time. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.